Welcome to America Current Affairs. We're diving into a story that kicks off with protests in London, but believe me, it leads us all the way to a tragic death in Bangladesh and a massive diplomatic crisis that's got two whole nations on edge.
Hindu lives matter. This was the powerful message seen on the streets of London just a few days ago. A really powerful cry for justice that was heard, all around the world.
Okay, so you've got a protest in the heart of London. Then you've got this tragedy happening half a world away. And on top of that, two nations are basically on a collision course. How in the world are all these connected? Well, to really get what's happening, we got to start right there on those streets in London and work our way back.
All right, let's dive in. On December 27th and 28th, things got really intense. A passionate, emotional protest just erupted right outside the Bangladesh High Commission in London. And look, this wasn't just some small gathering. This was a powerful demonstration, and it was designed to make the world sit up and pay attention.
And what's so incredible is who was there. You had members from both the UK's Indian and Bangladeshi Hindu communities, all standing shoulder to shoulder. We're talking students, professionals, even families with their kids, all of them united by one single cause, demanding justice and, really, protection for minorities back in Bangladesh.
So that begs the question, right? What could possibly happen that would make people in London protest so fiercely? The answer, well, it lies in a story that is just shocking and, honestly, deeply tragic.
So, at the very heart of this huge international outrage is just one person, a young factory worker whose absolutely brutal death ignited an outrage that just spread like wildfire. From a small town in Bangladesh all the way to the capital of the United Kingdom.
Okay, so let's walk through this. On December 18th, a really terrible chain of events was set into motion. A 27-year-old factory worker, Deepu Chandra Das, was falsely accused of blasphemy, of insulting religion. A furious mob, they didn't wait for any facts, they didn't wait for the police, they just took the law into their own hands, brutally lynching him. And then, as if that wasn't horrific enough, they set his body on fire. And this is the most important part of the whole story. After everything happened, the Bangladeshi authorities themselves came out and confirmed that the accusation, it was completely false. The entire reason for the mob's anger was a total lie. Deepu Chandra Das was murdered for something he absolutely did not do.
Now, as terrible as that is, this event didn't just happen in a vacuum. Sadly, it took place at a time of massive unrest and chaos all across Bangladesh, which just poured gasoline on an already dangerous fire. Get this, on the exact same day that Deepu Chandra Das was killed, the country was already a tinderbox, just waiting to explode. A very popular student leader and activist named Osman Hadi, he died after somebody tried to assassinate him. And his death? Man, it was like a match on gasoline. It triggered these huge widespread riots.
So for 2 straight days, Bangladesh was just rocked by violence. You had furious mobs attacking newspaper offices, burning down cultural centers, even setting fire to the homes of politicians. They even went after Indian diplomatic buildings. The whole nation was just completely on edge.
And this number right here, it really illustrates the scale of the problem. We're not talking about just a few isolated incidents here. According to the Indian government, there have been over 2,900 documented acts of violence against minorities in Bangladesh, and that's just since the new interim government took over. That's a staggering number.
Okay, so now let's shift gears a little and see how this crisis on the ground spiraled into a major diplomatic standoff between two very powerful neighbors, India and Bangladesh. And right here, you see two completely different realities being painted. India is looking at all these events and seeing what they call a terrifying pattern of unremitting hostility against minority groups. But Bangladesh is saying, whoa, hold on, no, these are just isolated criminal acts. They're even calling India's statement inaccurate and misleading. They're just not on the same page at all.
So in response to the violence, especially the attacks on its missions, India didn't just put out a press release. No, it took some very clear, very official steps. It summoned the top Bangladeshi diplomat in the country, told them in no uncertain terms about its serious concerns, and basically demanded that Bangladesh protect Indian diplomats and buildings, like they're supposed to under international law. And now, this whole thing is no longer just a regional issue. The violence, the protests, the diplomatic tension, it's caught the attention of leaders and major organizations all around the globe. The world is definitely watching. So from the United States, for example, you have powerful voices like Congressman Ro Khanna speaking out. He called the killing of Dipu Das a horrific act of hatred and said that everyone, absolutely everyone, needs to condemn it.
And the United Nations also had something to say. The spokesperson for the Secretary General basically said the UN is very concerned, and he stressed a simple but really vital point. Everyone, especially people in minority groups, has a fundamental right to feel safe in their own country.
So, wow, we've connected the dots from a protest in London all the way to a nation in turmoil. Where does this leave us? I mean, what happens now? We've seen exactly how one single, awful event is connected to a much, much bigger story. It's a story of protest, yeah, but also of political turmoil, these really deep-seated tensions, and now a growing and pretty dangerous disagreement between two really important countries.
And all of this leaves us with a really serious question. With tensions this high, are we actually watching the beginning of a major crisis? One that could destabilize the entire region? It's a heavy thought. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to subscribe to America Current Affairs for more breakdowns of the stories that really matter.